I liked a boy in 2012. I was just in high school, about to write my college exams. His name was Caleb. I liked him a lot, but he really didn't see me that way. So yes, I came up with this crazy story I'm about to tell, that I have a best friend called Best. Hello guys, good evening. My name is Mimi. This is a dash of colors. Today I'm showing you back to the past, as far as 2012, where I made someone believe that I had an imaginary best friend. Well, it was imaginary. 2012 was a particular year in my life, and I was still very naive. That was actually the first guy that I liked a lot, aside Chukudi. Well, Chukudi was the first guy. Yes, I've talked about Chukudi. You can just find the podcast anywhere. Then, okay, yes, it's safe to say Caleb was the second, because after I disconnected with Chukudi, we relocated somewhere else. So that was where I actually met Caleb. Caleb was a friend of our neighbors. The neighbors happened to be my friend as well. So we're pretty much close. We talked and everything. Then I started noticing Caleb always came around to visit my friend, who was also my neighbor. It was, at first, I really didn't wrap my head around it because I was still young and naive, and I was struggling with my self-esteem. I think I've talked about my self-esteem once, but I had a very big problem with my self-esteem. I wasn't comfortable with my smile. I wasn't comfortable with my height. I wasn't comfortable with the fact that I was slim, and I had people throw me a lot. So it actually impacted my body image, or how I saw myself, right? So when this guy started coming around, I had a huge crush on him, and the only way I could express that was to run away. Whenever he came around to the house, I would run. Like, it was so obvious. He even knew I was running away. And it's not like he was older than I was or anything. We were actually the same age brackets, or he was slightly older. I think he was older by a year, but it can be more. So if I was looking at the age brackets, I shouldn't be running away from a guy that I like, that is within my age bracket. But I kept running. Actually, I would see him come around, and if I was outside, I'd run. Like, at some point, I started asking his friend, who told me as well that he wasn't comfortable with the fact that I always ran whenever I saw him. And I wasn't running because he was hideous. Damn, he was fine. He's still fine. I don't know if he'll ever get to listen to this, boy. Well, he is a fine man, right? So it wasn't the question of if he was cute or not. He was cute. Damn. Plus his very beautiful black skin. But I already had extreme issues, so I really didn't know how to tell him that I liked him. So the only way I could express that was to run away. I kept running away until a particular day when he actually approached me, and then he said hi, and then we talked. And in the process of talking, because of my low self-esteem, I started talking about an imaginary friend. Like, I felt like I was going to get bored with getting to know me. So I needed to tell him something to keep him interested in me. That's why I feel like I'm a very good storyteller. Because I've been telling people stories all my life. And then I started telling him about a friend called Best. Trust me, there was no friend, okay? I started telling him about a friend called Best and how she's an amazing person, and every other thing that I said about Best, right? And I actually thought he was not going to like her like that. I was more of using the imaginary friend as a point to get him to talk to me more. So we exchanged contacts, and then we started talking and chatting on 2Go. Nigerians know what 2Go is. So we started talking there, and I started taking it a lot further. I would get a pillow. I changed my phone number. I'd get a pillow, place it over my mouth, and I'll call him and pretend to be the friend, best. And I actually thought he was going to figure it out. He didn't figure that out. So he asked best out in just 2 days of talking to her. I felt completely ruined because I was talking to this guy for a whole year and he didn't see me that way. And then it was just 2 days. And he was already asking my imaginary best friend out. Yes, about the picture. I know you're thinking, yes. My classmate then, I asked her to help me with pictures. So she sent me pictures of her own cousin that doesn't even know me. The girl was actually very beautiful. She was everything that I didn't see in myself. So it was easier to use her picture anyway. So I had an account for her where I posted her pictures. I talked with Caleb from that account, and then he was drooling over her. It actually injured my self-esteem a lot because I felt I was the same person, but just a different face, and he still chose the different face. Yeah, good. I was so hurt, and I said yes, of course. I said yes to dating him. I already told him that Bess didn't stay in Enugu. She stayed in a different state, 12 hours away. So yes, he wasn't really worried about seeing her. So far, I keep sending images that I got from my friend, my classmate rather. So I kept up with this art they dated for 1 year, right? Then it was 2014, and it was time to get into school. I couldn't keep up with the whole pretending to be two people at the same time and everything. So I just had to call it off. But there are highlights to the stories actually. That was actually how I had my first kiss. And okay, this was actually what happened. I made it seem like Best and Caleb had a fight, and in the fight it was about me. And I, as Best, I hope this doesn't confuse people listening anyway, but I, as Best, dared him to kiss me, and he did, to hurt her. And that was actually how I had my first kiss. That was 2014. God, I am so weird. I've done crazy things. The moral of the story is I had extreme issues. It was just me behind a different face, but I was more confident. I spoke more about what I wanted, what I didn't like. I spoke of the things that I would want to have and the kind of life I wanted to live. And voila, Caleb wanted that kind of woman. Well, that was like the imaginary me that I wanted to be, but I couldn't be that as Mimi, and I chose someone else's face, just to live that particular life in my head. It got me a boyfriend that I had to apologize to 2 years after that I lied to him anyway. And he probably hates me now because we don't talk. We don't talk. I feel so terrible. Not in a bad way anyway, because I was just a child. But I actually had fun hiding, sneaking around, covering my mouth with pillows, talking to a boy for a whole year, making him believe that I liked them as Best, while it was me all along. He was completely devastated when I told him. I was in second year when I told him the truth, right? Because, well, they actually broke up before I got into school, but I was still talking to him, but I didn't tell him the truth about what happened. So I had to tell him that, hey, it was me you dated, just someone else's picture. And he was very devastated. Although I started blackmailing him then, God, I've done terrible things to Caleb. I started saying he didn't like me because of my face, because it was still me, but a different person's face. But the truth is, it wasn't the same me. Best was confident. Best spoke about her emotions. Best spoke about the things that she wanted to do. I, on the other hand, was too worried not to be too expressive so he doesn't run away. So, at the end of the day, I think the moral of the story is just be yourself. You would always attract the right energy.